Hey Ken, thanks so much for taking the time to join me today.
Malia, great to see you again.
Now, it's been a couple months since you last joined us on our channel, where we went into an overview of Sonoro Gold and the company and a lot of various topics, such as your flagship projects, some of the kind of areas that you guys are exploring in, as well as some financing and how you guys maximize shareholder value. So, if any of your viewers haven't seen that intro video, I encourage you to watch that first so that you have a better understanding of what we're going to be talking about here today. But what I'd like to talk about today, Ken, is that recently Sonora Gold announced letters of intent to acquire some mineral concessions that are adjacent to your flagship Cerro Caliche gold project. So my big question to you to kind of kick this off is, what was the reason behind these letters of intent to acquire these projects, and how do you foresee this helping expanding the project?
Well, first of all, how do we see it expanding the project? It's very simple. We know that the area to the east of us was heavily mineralized. It has been explored extensively over the past 25 years. And we had a good understanding of what the potential for that area was. So we also had competition for the area as well. And so we figured the time was right for us to strike and make the move. And going back to what we had, the foundation of the company, of course, is the area shown in yellow, the bright yellow, which is the original Cerro Caliche concession. The southern third of the concession was the 1,400 hectare concession that we had drilled from 2018 to 2022. And that's where we have almost 800,000 ounces of mineralized or ounces of mainly gold with a little bit of silver. And it's in the mineable category, and the production rate was in the just under 500,000 ounces based upon a recovery rate of 72%. Then that was the foundation for the company. We know that the mineralization can be extended within that original area, but we also know that the mineralization extends towards the north as well. So it behooves us to drill that. So we put together a 50,000 meter drilling program strictly within the yellow area to infill drill in the area of the pit shells that we've identified to date and extend the resource to the north into areas that we consider to be highly prospective, underlain with rhyolite, and we figure that the grades for the gold and silver should essentially be elevated as we drill into these northern areas. So that was a good foundation for us, a 50,000 meter drilling program, and that is focused strictly on the area in yellow. But then, of course, we in the recent acquisition, we announced this week, the area shown in red and the area in blue, where the main acquisitions of the past news, of the recent news release. The area shown in red is very simple. We acquired these two zones, one for $2 million and the other for $4 million. So $6 million over the coming 60 months, as I recall. And so that gives us an opportunity to really take earlier exploration efforts and hopefully convert them into an actual resource. The area shown in blue is an area that's been extensively explored over the past 25 years, maybe even longer. And we know that a lot of drilling has taken place there. Much of the drilling is not compliant with 43-101, but at the same time, we have access to all that data, and it gives us a great basis in which to have us commence our drilling program in the not too distant future. So the area for the shown in blue is we acquired a 51% interest by expending $9 million in exploration programs, mostly drilling, of course, over the next 4 years. And we consider this to be a highly prospective area for hopefully defining a resource that can actually take us into production in this particular zone. Now, it'll be a separate drilling program from the Cerro Caliche area shown in yellow, because obviously our geologists are fully contained and fully utilized and developing a substantial resource, in our opinion, on the yellow zone there, the Cerro Caliche. But the area in red is, and the area in blue we will be presenting in the next probably 6 months. After we review all the historic data, we should be able then put together a drilling program that can realize upon the value of that particular project. So that was a reason we had we were dealing with the vendor in this area here since 2018. We tried to do a deal back then, but he was not willing to accept our terms at that time. So now we've come up with terms that both parties can live with, and we'll operate in that blue zone together to, we'll earn a 51% interest. When that is accomplished, then we can sit down and decide, is it going to be a joint venture going forward to develop it into a mine, or do we continue with a drilling program and put some more money in and acquire more of an interest, or do we buy out the 49% interest? We've left it open that we can negotiate whatever terms are best for us, and of course, whatever terms are best for both parties. So it gives us now a district scale element to our exploration efforts. If you look to the north, our boundary in the north is adjacent to Agnico Eagles, the Santa Gertrudis mine area. Mm-hmm. And to the southeast and the south, you're looking at the Mercedes mine and the Highlander silver concessions. Right. And so we're right smack in the middle. We consider our Cerro Caliche expanded zones now to be the genesis of a brand new mining district for northern Mexico, and the potential is actually very, very significant.
Amazing. That all sounds incredible, and it sounds like there's so much thought and historical data behind why you chose to acquire these sites. Now, I know you touched upon a little bit how these expanded regions will have a little bit of a separated exploration and drill program. But can you tell us a little bit about how you might choose to approach exploration and drill programs in these regions, and how you might do things similar or differently than Cerro Caliche?
Actually, the drilling programs will be very, very similar, and because there's so much historic data on these particular concessions. For example, if we go to the northern part of this original Cerro Caliche area, there's I don't know how many drill holes, probably around 40 or so drill holes that have been conducted in that area, and we have access to the results of. That enable us then to go into these areas with our eyes wide open and be able to capitalize on it and essentially twin the most successful holes in that area. So the chances of having success is extremely high as a result, because we're drilling into areas of known mineralization. Then the area to the east of the new concession area, once again, 25 years, at least 25 years of mineralization that was discovered there over multiple drill programs and surface mapping and sampling. So we will use that data. First of all, we'll compile our own QA/QC type of environment in this area here. We'll examine the old drill cores. We will take all the old data and then put it into our database, and then operate from there, be able to define the proper areas for us to drill, and with the expectation that we will have a high degree of success with each one of our drill holes. So we're not going in and wildcatting anywhere in these concessions. We're going into areas of known mineralization, and where historic data demonstrates the high potential for demonstrating a resource with our two programs. And there are two programs. For example, this first program of 50,000 meters on Cerro Caliche alone is expected to take 8 months or so, because we'll have 2 rigs operating, and we have 2 shifts operating with these rigs. So it'll go very, very quickly. And during much of that time, we'll be compiling the data for commencing the drilling on the area shown in blue. And so by this time, maybe by January of next year, we'll be well underway with drilling on the blue zone there. And that, if you look at the way we've structured the agreement, is $2.5 million a year for 4 years, approximately. will be what we're going to be spending on the drilling program. And $2.5 million is going to yield a significant amount of drilling data for us. So a year from now, we're going to be data rich at that point.
Amazing. And that's great to hear that this drilling program and exploration will be happening so fast. I guess you already touched upon it a little bit, but I remember last time we went, which was, I believe, early 2026, back in January or February. But something that I'd like to ask now is that we've come, halfway throughout the year. And so what can you tell us a little bit about what's on the horizon or what Sonora Gold plans to do for the latter half of 2026?
Well, as you know, for the past few years, we've been intensely focused on obtaining the approval of the environmental impact statement, or the MIA, as known in Mexico. The environmental impact statement is going through the process. We're one of at least eight projects that are awaiting final approval. Everybody's waiting with bated breath as to when that's going to happen. And none of us can define with any great degree of certainty exactly when, except that we believe it's going to happen with the word soon, quotation marks. And so on that basis, we looked at it and said, why wait? Why just wait? We've got almost $5,000 gold here. And why wait until we get the mine built and then we use the revenue for additional drilling? Let's take advantage of the fact, because that actual revenue from the mine will be, let's call it 2 years from now. In the meantime, we drill 50,000 meters, maybe another 50,000 meters. We will have a resource that I believe will be multiples of where it is today. So on that basis, we're adding value to the shareholders by going in there, doing the hybrid approach, continue pushing to go towards getting the environmental approval for the MIA, and drill, keep on drilling until we start to realize the true value of the Cerro Caliche project and the two extensions we've just announced. And so I think we can provide the shareholders with the best of both worlds. And at the same time, the way the mine is structured at this point in time is for a process of 16,000 tons per day, gives us a 10-year life of mine, which yields approximately 47,000 ounces a year over that 10-year life of mine. It's obviously higher in the early years, 60, 70,000 ounces. But as long as we are continuing with a successful drilling program, that life of mine should be extended. 10 years, I believe, is only the stage one of the process to really realize the true value of Cerro Caliche. So if we're successful in extending that resource, especially in the area surrounding the pit shells as we know today, and we believe that there's great potential for extending the life of mine in that area. Then we go into the northern areas until we expect to have an even longer life of mine, be able to maybe have another operation in the northern area. And the area in blue, where we've got so much data from the past 25 years that we have to examine, is there a potential for another potential mine in that area? And the answer is absolutely. So like I said, we're not going to be stationary. We're not going to be static, sitting there with a 10-year life of mine and producing 16,000 tons a day. Our goal is to increase the throughput on a daily basis, increase the life of the mine. So both will contribute towards a much, much greater valuation for the company in the future.
Amazing. It's so great to hear that you have an established plan and so many exciting things coming up in the future. I just want to thank you for your time again today. I'm sure you've been very busy with everyone trying to hear from you, especially after this news. But I really appreciate you taking some time to join us on our channel so that our viewers can hear a little bit more about this news from you.
Thanks, Amali. It is an exciting time for Sonoro. We have our team has been energized beyond the wildest expectations here. We are really of the opinion that we're only at the genesis phase of the Cerro Caliche mine, and we're going to add value as we go along over the next couple of years.
Absolutely. And I wish you and the rest of your team continued success.
Thanks, Amali. You have a
Have a
good
great
day.
day.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.